Have you ever stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, we're only scratching the surface of what we're capable of? Well, today we are diving deep into a really powerful vision for what humanity could become if we truly unlocked all that hidden potential. Let's get into it.
But first, right off the bat, I have a question for you, and I want you to really think about it for a second. Are we, right now, living up to our full potential? I mean, you, me, all of us, as a species. Seriously, that one question is the launchpad for everything we're about to talk about.
All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at a new horizon for humanity. Then we'll break down the three core pillars holding it all up: mastering our own minds, using tech in a totally new way, and then this idea of collective flourishing. And to finish, we'll talk about how to actually make this vision real. So let's talk about this new human horizon. With everything going on in the world, AI exploding, climate change, you name it, this whole conversation about our potential isn't just some nice philosophical idea anymore. It's becoming an absolute necessity.
Now, when we say human potential, what are we really getting at? Well, think of it like this. It's all that incredible, untapped power for growth, for creativity, for making a real impact that's just sitting dormant inside every single one of us, and in our society as a whole. It's basically the gap between who we are today and who we could be tomorrow.
And if you need proof that we need this conversation, get this. A staggering 85% of people around the world feel disengaged from their jobs. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's not just about being unhappy at work. That is a vast, vast ocean of human energy, creativity, and passion that's just going to waste. That's the gap this whole vision is trying to close.
Okay, so this brings us to the first massive pillar: mindset mastery. The idea here is actually pretty simple, but it is revolutionary. To change the world out there, you've got to start by changing the world in here. The foundation of our entire future is built right inside our own minds. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. To change our reality, we must first master the landscape of our own consciousness. It's really about becoming the architect of your own mind.
So what does this shift actually look like? Well, it's about going from a fixed mindset where you believe your talents are set in stone to a growth mindset where you know you can develop your abilities. It's trading scarcity thinking, that whole zero-sum game where if I win, you lose, for abundance thinking, where there's plenty of opportunity for everyone. And finally, it's moving from a reactive state, being driven by fear and old habits, to a creative state, driven by purpose.
And just to be super clear, this isn't just about thinking positive. No, this is about building a real toolkit of skills. We're talking about emotional resilience to bounce back from anything, making lifelong learning a part of who you are, having a truly radical curiosity about the world, and being able to focus your attention where you want it to go, with intention.
All right, let's move on to our second pillar: synergistic technology. Now, this one is about a massive shift in how we see our tech, moving away from thinking of it as just a simple tool and starting to see it as a partner that can actually elevate us.
And this quote here really captures the fork in the road we're at. We are at a point in history where technology can either amplify our deepest flaws or our greatest virtues. The choice is a matter of design and intention. It all comes down to what we choose to do with it.
So let's break that choice down. Right now, so much of our tech is a passive tool, caught up in a distraction economy that's designed to fight for our attention. And we're all worried about automation replacing our jobs. This vision, it flips that on its head. Technology becomes an active collaborator, building an empowerment economy that actually makes us smarter. Automation doesn't replace us, it elevates us by freeing us up to be more creative.
And just imagine what that kind of partnership could unlock. Seriously, we are not talking about small improvements here. We are talking about personalized education and healthcare built just for you. We're talking about finally having the power to solve those impossible problems like climate change and disease, an amplified collective intelligence, and just whole new frontiers of creativity we can't even imagine yet. And that leads us perfectly into our third and final pillar, which is collective flourishing. This is where we zoom out. We stop focusing so much on just I and start thinking about we. It's about totally redefining what it means for a society to be successful. This quote really challenges us to rethink everything. The ultimate measure of a society's advancement is not its GDP, but the well-being and potential it unlocks for every single member. I mean, what a game-changing way to measure our progress.
So what does this look like in the real world? Well, it means we stop focusing on individual success as a cutthroat competition, and we start designing collaborative, win-win systems where a rising tide lifts all boats. It means we actively move beyond tribalism and division to focus on our shared humanity, and it means evolving from those rigid, top-down structures to more flexible networks that actually empower people to work together. And here's the magic, the really crucial part. These three pillars aren't separate things. They're all part of one interconnected system. They feed each other. See, a growth mindset helps us build better, more intentional technology. That tech then allows us to collaborate in ways we never could before. And that focus on collective flourishing gives both our mindset and our tech a real, shared purpose. It all works together.
Okay, so I know what you're probably thinking. This all sounds amazing, it's a huge vision, but how on earth do we make it real? Where do we even begin? Let's bring this down to earth and talk about what you can actually do to start building this future right now.
Here are 3 simple, totally doable steps anyone can take. First, do a little mindset audit. Just for this week, can you pick one belief you have that might be limiting you and just question it? Second, do an intention check with your tech. Before you pick up your phone, just pause for a second and ask yourself, is this about to empower me or is this just going to distract me? And third, start a possibility conversation. Grab a friend, tell them about one of these ideas, and just see what you come up with.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. You don't have to change the entire world by tomorrow, but just think about everything we've talked about. What's one small piece of this vision? Just one tiny part that you can bring to life starting today?